everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 6, Episode 17, DJI Mavic Pro Release Analysis and Thoughts. I'm joined by no introduction necessary, but I will, of course, Mr. Marcus Crawford. Ron Braun will be with us in a little bit. Marcus, how are you this evening?
Doing well, Bill. Still kind of coming off that little bit of shock of hitting that buy button on that drone. But I'm tickled to death about it. Absolutely no regrets whatsoever. The only video I was able to watch was Billy Kyle's, and I think there's going to be some things about that camera that we're going to love.
I think so too. Want to welcome 107 Drones is in the house. Jay Bird's here. Captain Joe America. Let's see. John Olson. Leonard Oglesby. Art is in the house. Welcome back, Art. Glad you had a safe trip. Drone Views Media. Let's see. Richard's here. Lauren is here. We also got Frank Walker, KC Crime Fighter. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Trini Weeks. Welcome, Trini. Nick's High Tech. And Mr. Bob Dempsey, Old Farts with Drones. All right, guys. And one of the things I want to say right off the bat is it's true confession time. Okay. And I think Marcus knows where I'm going with this. All right. I went ahead, I got all excited, got in my cart, paid for it. I'm looking at the receipt, and I ordered the Mavic 3 Classic. And I'm like, and I did have my caffeine. Okay, so that's not really an excuse. So I went in, I deleted that, and I reordered it, but it cost me another $589 today because the bank kept that, or I need to get that refunded back from DJI. So it takes 3 to 5 days to process that. So, they're making money on mine. Long story short, I did get it ordered successfully. And I think both Marcus and I, we got to have a estimated ship date of May the 9th.
Exactly right. Same here, Bill.
From the invoice. So, so that's where we're at. We're going to show you some things that I found out. Now, I watched Billy's video. I watched Ken Dono's video. I watched iJustine's video. I watched a little bit of Potato Jet's video. Now he did the Cine version. I didn't get a chance to watch Jeb and Dovey. I know Russ from 51 Drones did one. I didn't get a chance to watch his either. And I just found some things today. So just really kind of interesting how this all played out. And one of the things I want to start out with is I want to go over the different kits and what the prices were. And it seemed like, Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong, it seemed like those leaks were pretty much on the nose, right?
Pretty accurate. And, thankfully, DJI held the line on pricing. I think I was pleased that, they probably could have got another couple $100 out of us and they didn't. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree here. Okay, now this is the one I know. I'm pretty sure this is the one you and I both ordered.
Right.
The DJI Mavic 3 Pro with the RC, and you can see now the one with the first Fly More combo is $29.99. Includes DJI RC, 2 additional batteries, battery charging hub. Which, by the way, and I'm going to go down here, which is real interesting. And Ken Dono pointed this out on his video, which I thought was interesting. Okay. The DJI gives you a 100-watt USB-C power adapter and a 100-watt charging hub. And this is the same that goes on the Mavic 3 Enterprise, which is real interesting. On the regular one that both Marcus and I got is just a regular 65-watt charger and no charging base necessary, obviously, because of that. Then there's the Fly More kit with a DJI RC Pro, and that goes up to $38.89. And then there's the DJI Mavic 3 Pro Cine combo with the RC Pro that goes up to $47.99. All right. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to do, and we're going over. I switched. Yeah, I think I'm. Yeah. I know what I'm going to do here. Let's get back to this one. All right. I'm just going to roll down here. Okay, which is real interesting here. One of the first things, I mean, we'll go to the cameras here in a minute, but one of the first things that jumps out to me is It weighs more than the Mavic 3 and Mavic 3 Classic, 958 grams, 3 minutes less flight time as well, which kind of jumped out at me. I mean, I'm just trying to look for some things about that. And I think, Marcus, I think you probably would agree with me that the additional weight is definitely, it has to be from the camera. I mean, because nothing else has really changed.
It's got to be from the camera, and kudos to DJI for building a gimbal that can handle a that much weight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's get my mouse going here. All right.
Hey, something I just saw here, Bill.
What's that?
This is really neither here nor there, but you've got the Air 2S on the far right there. 31 minutes flight time. I'll tell you, I have never seen an Air 2S get 31 minutes flight time. You're lucky to get 20 out of a battery.
Yeah, that's
great
not.
Drone. Love the drone, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree. That isn't. Now, it gives you Mavic 3. It gives you all the different. Okay. The different specs with the drones down here, and this was really good coming across this right here. It goes over all the 3 cameras kind of in detail, and this is the new camera that's on here. It's the medium tele camera, 3x optical, 70 millimeter equivalent, f/r 2.8, 48 megapixels, 4K 60 frames per second, D-Log, and one of the videos that I encourage you to watch if you want to find out more about that, Ken did a real good job showing that and showing what it's like with the D-Log M, without the D-Log M, and what a difference that makes. So definitely you want to watch Original Dobo's video on that, because I thought he did a real good job explaining that. Billy Kyle did a great job, and we're talking about the videos. You definitely want to see Billy's video, because he goes into a lot of detail, not only about the cameras, but also, and Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong, he really did. I thought he did a great job with the hyperlapse, and he's like, no, these were too shaky. I didn't like it. I'm like, dude, that looks great.
I agree. I thought it looked pretty good too. But it'll be interesting to see now that the final firmware is out, to see how if that improves that. Now you can imagine with the telephoto lens, and that's the one that he was talking about, the 3 times optical. Yeah, that drone is going to have to be extra steady, isn't it? Because any little movement is going to show. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I think it's gonna. I'm really anxious to test. Like I told you guys, what I'm going to test is the waterfall that we have here. So I think it's a perfect background, because that's moving all the time with the telephoto. I'm really anxious to get this to do that. So that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. Okay. So
hey, Bill,
go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just saw something in the chat. Captain Ray Kelly says he might need Mark tomorrow, as you are the best drone recoverer. I hope, Ray, that you haven't lost a drone. I just saw that comment, and it stood out to me. So I hope you haven't lost a drone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Ray. We hope you didn't lose a drone for sure. Okay.
Didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought, Bill.
No. That's okay. That's okay. I wonder, was something else that I wanted. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to go over this now. Okay. And it really doesn't show it here. And I'm going to kind of, we'll stop the screen for a minute. But one of the things Billy pointed out in his video today is that he's talking about, and I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you watched his video. He talked about the flight track being improved. Now, I think what he was referring to was over the series, okay? And up until this point, the way the flight tracking is, he did it with him on his skateboard, whatever it was, and it pretty much stayed locked on him. It almost kind of reminded me of a Skydio kind of a follow, where it was really kind of locked onto him.
Yeah. So what he was able to do and he pointed out the important it is so he's in an urban environment, and he wants to follow himself with the drone. With that telephoto, it allows him to put the drone up high enough Nobody even knows it's there. It's up above the crowd. Nobody's going to see it. It's above obstacles, etc. And will, he can still he could still track himself with it. That's huge. And because you think about the amount of computing power that it takes to do that, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is, and he pointed that out very well. And a programming note for everybody, because I know I talked about this like ad nauseum last week about Billy being on tonight. Billy unfortunately wasn't available tonight. He will be here a week from Tuesday at 8:00 Eastern. Ron Marcus will be back because I'm sure we'll be able to have a great Q&A with him, especially about the Mavic 3 Pro. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys don't miss that, because that will definitely be a good show. One of the questions I saw out there today, Marcus, which really was very interesting, saw several people post, when do you think we'll see an Air 3? And I'm like, okay. I mean, I haven't even come down to earth yet from today, and people are like, when are we going to see an Air 3? And I'm like, whoa, guys, time out.
I got a couple things to say about that. And number one, you're absolutely correct. Time out. We got to digest this one first before we worry about an Air 3. But secondly, an Air 3 would be a very popular product. I had a conversation with Ron earlier today, and he said, I listen, let me back up a little bit. I told him, I said, I think the Mavic 3 Classic is replacing the Air drone in DJI's lineup. And he said, you're probably right, but he said that may be a marketing mistake on DJI's part, because he felt like there's such a clamor for that Air 3 that, it might have been a good one for him to release, and there would be a built-in group of people that'd be ready to hit that buy button on that one.
Yeah, and I think we kind of talked about this morning during the release show. The DJI has done extremely well in hitting all these price points. Okay, starting out, with like the Mini 2 SE now, and going all the way up, to for the Mavic 3 Pro Cine. All right. They've hit a lot of these good price points, but one of them that, you get the Mini 3 Pro, but yet, there's a little bit of a gap there. And, part of that gap is like from 1,000 to like almost 1,700, because you have to spend at least, I think the Mavic 3 Classic, 1,750, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a pretty good gap there between like the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 Classic.
Good point. Yeah, good point. We may, who knows, we may yet see one. Although, I had this conversation with Ron earlier today too. God, the Air 2S still stands up so well. The only thing I can think of that they could add to it is what we talked about earlier, bigger battery or more flight time, however they accomplish that. And perhaps, because we're living in the age of vertical video, being able to get a non-cropped vertical video with the drone. Other than that, it is such a full-featured device, to the point that when I went down to Florida, I took the Air 2S with me, and I really didn't miss out on much, because I had all the features that I would have with my Mavic 3 and a way more compact package.
And I think you made a good choice, because, you got to experience what it's like windy Florida. Okay. This whole entire month has been like that. I kid you not. Okay. Well, it's like 25, 30 mile an hour gusts every single stinking day. Like if you get up early in the morning, okay, you're good. All right. Till about 8 or 9 o'clock. And then it starts picking up. And then after about 6:30, 7 at night, it starts dying down again. But that time period during the day, it's just like, it's like 25, 30 miles an hour. You really, you have to have a quote unquote a beefy drone. And, instead of taking like a Mini 3 Pro, you taking that Air 2S, see, that really hits a lot of bells right there, because it's a little bit of a beefier drone, and it's not going to get pushed around in the wind like the
has more power. Yeah. Hot Rod Daytona Rod is giving us a point here. He says he needs the Air 3 to carry the Insta360 sphere. Well, there you go, Rod. And by the way, kudos to Rod. I just edited the video when we were at the meetup, the day of the meetup. Rod did a hand catch of my Air 2 that day.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd pay money to see that.
Yeah,
You're going to put that, that's going to be on your video, right?
Yeah, oh, it is. It's in the video. Trust me. I got it all edited up, and I'm not sure when I'll post it.
I'm going to sit back with my popcorn and Coke and watch that.
Yeah, Rod was showing off for us there. Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, and I want to bring this up because, one of the other things that I saw today again, okay, and it happens during a release now more often than not, is I'm seeing a lot of feedback about how expensive the drone is, all right? And once again, I'll go back to what I've said before. I said this during the Mini 3 Pro. I said this when the Mavic 3 came out. I said, you get, my dad's had a wonderful saying, you get what you pay for, and I think you'll agree with me. You're paying for quality, you're getting quality here. Okay. You're not getting a drone that you're not sure of the software, of, the hardware. You feel very confident when you've charged that thing up, have done your firmware updates, that it's going to do what you want it to do and what it says it's going to do, okay? And you're not crossing your fingers and hoping that you're going to get a level horizon, or it's not going to toilet bowl on you, or, or come down and do a 360, Yeah, there it is right there.
I got high hopes for this guy, Bill. We'll see.
I hope. You know what? My prayers are that when you get that up, that it was like mine, that you have no issues with it at all, because you deserve it.
Well, even more importantly, and I'm charging batteries and stuff now for it. And I don't want to get off of what we're talking about the Mavic 3, but as you remember, that little guy had pretty bad vignetting in the video and so forth. So high quality video is going to be huge, and if it can provide that, it'll be a win.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the other things that I want to talk about too is the goggles, all right, and the hand controller. And Dobo pointed that out today as well. You guys got to watch 2 videos. I suggest you watch if you have time before you go to bed tonight. Watch Billy's, okay? It's worth it. Watch the whole thing, and watch Ken's as well too. I'm sure Russ and all the other guys put out good ones, but those are 2 that I want to kind of steer you to, because I watched those from bell to bell, and they're chock full of great things. So please watch them. But it's interesting about the goggles and the controller, don't you think?
Yeah, that is interesting, and I wonder how many people are going to take advantage of that. Hey, there's Mr. Brown. I'll tell you, I do know one guy that's going to take advantage of that, and his name is Ron Brown.
Ron Brown, absolutely.
Take advantage of a good sale.
Google
the goggles and the hand controller.
Something we never thought we'd see, Bill. Ron Brown with goggles on.
And I had a conversation with Marcus this afternoon. I found the right diopters. I looked up my prescription online, and I had like -7s or something, and they're perfect. I wear bifocals, so the lettering at the bottom is just a little bit out of focus for me. But as far as seeing the field of view or whatever, beautiful, Bill.
That's great.
I couldn't see better out of them.
Yeah, I know, because I have progressive lenses. And
that's what I have. Yeah.
So that's really good to hear.
I don't progress that. The letters at the bottom of the screen. I can read them. They're not crystal clear and sharp like my regular glasses, but it's all I could ask for. Without getting the progressives in the fitted lenses for that, which is a bit overkill. Hey, I don't know if you guys talked about it, but the one thing that I kind of didn't expect today was, with the updates for the Mavic 3 series of drones and the Mini 2 Pro that allow the goggles to be used with them, they can only be used in conjunction with the motion controller 2. They cannot be used in conjunction with your regular remote that came with the drone. And that's as of today. I don't know if that'll change, but I know I got that confirmed from Sean over at Air Photography.
Okay.
As of right now, you have to pair the motion controller and the goggles to fly those camera drones.
Well, some of the things that I found today in my looking, now I only watched Billy's video and I watched Ken's video. Okay. I did watch iJustine's video. Okay. Potato Jet, he did one, but he did it on the Cine. I kind of stopped that when I realized that. But one of the things Ken pointed out, and I saw that, like if you get either of the Fly More combos, you get a 100-watt charger and a 100-watt charging base, which is different from what Marcus and I got. We had the 65-watt charger because this is the one that comes with the Mavic 3 Enterprise series. Also, in looking at the specs, it has 3 minutes less battery time.
All that, yeah.
And also, it weighs more. And
yeah, I kind of put that out there recently that because of this exercise that gimbal and weight that may affect the flight time.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think Marcus and I talked about it. That because there's 3 cameras up there now and it's bigger, that's probably where your weight is. Okay, the extra grams on there. And Mark White, our friend from across the Atlantic, pointed out very well that especially in Europe, it will probably kick it into another class, which is not good for them.
I saw that there's another class beyond C class or whatever. Yeah, I saw that too. Back to the weight and whatever and the flight time. Did the Mavic 3 Classic with its smaller camera, one camera, did it have more flight time than the
No, and it didn't weigh any less either.
Okay. It did affect the weight only. Okay.
Yeah, Bill, I really like, Bill, the way you listed those specs all side by side. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was, that's good. That's right on DJI's for sale page, and it's below everything. And and one of the other things which we found real interesting, Ron, was it had the Air 2S, and it compared that to all 3 of the Mavic 3s. Which was really kind of interesting. And I was sharing with Marcus, and I found this real interesting. I saw several comments today about, so when are we getting an Air 3S? And I'm like, guys, I haven't even landed from Mavic 3 Pro, and you're asking about an Air 3S right now. Okay, let's enjoy this drone before we start looking at another one right now.
Well, Ron's got some good commentary there, don't you, Ron? I appreciated what you said about it earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, and also unofficially, this is totally off the record here, Bill, but we kind of heard in Florida that there is no Air 3 in the pipeline right now. I'm not saying no Air 3 ever, but there's no Air 3 in the pipeline now.
I heard the same thing, and our good friend from up north, nodded in agreement on that there's nothing in the pipeline right now, which doesn't mean that they're not going to consider something like that. And like I told Marcus, this was literally right before you joined. Okay. The Mini 3 Pro, between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 Classic, there's a big gap in terms of price. Okay. Because the Mavic 3 Classic is, I think, $1,750. All right. And then you get the Mini 3 Pro, which tops out about $1,100, I think, guys. So there's a big gap right there. And that's why I think, a lot of people are clamoring for something that's going to hit a little bit more of some of those buttons. And Marcus and I were talking, him telling me that he brought the Air 2S down to Florida with him. And I thought that was perfect because the way the weather's been, and by the way, Ron, it's still windy down here in Florida. Okay.
If you get up early, Marcus saw that too. If you get up early in the morning, if you fly in the morning, you're okay. But the wind picks up the longer you go into the afternoon.
Exactly. Yeah. And then by 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, it dies down again. It's been like that this whole month. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason. So in order to fly, you got to do it either early or after 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. You just can't fly in the middle of the day right now. It's just horrible.
Well, I didn't say they Marcus did, but when I went to the last time we had a spin up, when I went there, I only took one drone. I took the Air 2S because again, it's easy to travel with than a Mavic 3 size drone, but it has the horsepower that the mini drones don't have to handle some robust winds.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Well, you know, one of the things today that really kind of hit it home for me, and Marcus and I were talking. Billy did a fantastic video, and one of the things that I really liked about it was, you know, he went into incredible detail about the cameras, and it was like Marcus and I were talking like photography 101. Okay. And you know, he did that shot of him up on top of the parking garage with one lens, and then another shot with another lens to give people an idea what it's like, what it takes in, what that lens perspective takes in, which is really good. DJI kind of did a little bit about that, but Billy really kind of hit it home with that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was good. That was a good
video. And good. Basically, what you're trying to say, he showed the different focal lengths.
Yeah,
3 lenses and what kind of shots each one can get for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Ron, the way he demonstrated them made it very useful, showing the way it brings the background in. And what it made me realize was that I'll probably use that 3x zoom more often than I would have otherwise thought.
Yeah, I agree. You would just keep under consideration. You'll be on a smaller than 1-inch sensor. You won't be on your 4/3.
Now, what really excited me, Ron, on Billy's video when he did the hyperlapse with the new lens. Okay. Now he was saying, and I said this, you know, we all know Billy's such a perfectionist. He said, you know, there was so much shaking going on, and I'm looking and I'm like, I'm not really seeing the shaking there, Billy. It looks pretty doggone good, you know, in those videos. But
I guess when you do a hyperlapse, almost every time you go someplace like Billy does, you get to be a little pickier than we are.
He's a connoisseur of
hyperlapse. Yeah. You know what? Again, when you do them all the time, you have a more detailed eye than somebody like us who does it once in a blue moon.
Right.
Yeah, which and I was pretty impressed. Now he also talked about at the end of it, and I really kind of like this as well. Marcus and I were talking about it, is the active track, and he said this, you know, it's been refined to the point that it really follows that subject and doesn't lose that subject, almost Skydio like, almost to the point it doesn't disconnect from that.
And from a far enough distance away that it doesn't really bother anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was a great point. Yeah.
A
Skydio is great, but it's almost on top of you when it's following you along.
Right.
Well, you know, Ken in his video pointed something out that I really liked, Ron, was that, you know, he did a lot of shots in downtown Tampa, and he said he wants to be real careful not to fly over streets and people, because when he does fly in Tampa, it's usually at night and there's not really, you know, a lot of people there to have to deal with. But he flew during the day, and he said one of the things with the new telephoto lens, it'll give you the ability to look like you're almost on top of the building or in an area, but yet you're pretty far back with the medium telephoto lens. And I really that was a real good point that he made. He also said, and I think if I'm not mistaken, he said he's had it for almost a couple of months and has been using it on his real estate shoots as well too, which is real interesting. I didn't, you know, normally they give him a few weeks, but he's had it for a couple of months. That was great. He did a great job, and that's one thing I told everybody is we'll definitely watch Billy's, definitely watch Ken's. You know, I know Russ put one out. There's some other ones out there. Justine has one out, but some of the usual players like our good friend Rick Smith, he didn't have one. In fact, he put an Air 2S video out today, which I thought was really kind of funny. of all days to put that out.
Hey, I put out an Air 2S video today, Bill.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't even see it. Okay. I didn't even see it. I'm like,
hey, Ron Brown was in it. Ron Brown was even in it.
I gotta. Well, you know what? That's first thing after we say our good nights. I'm gonna go watch that because I want to make sure that I see that.
Yeah, I didn't put out a video today just for the fact that I didn't want to get caught up in the wave of Mavic 3 Pro videos coming out, that because it's gonna be hard to find other videos in that wave.
Yeah.
And Bill, back to this, your point a little bit on the middle ground for a possible Air 3S. Yeah, I mean we're right with this $21.99 price point, right back where we were about 18 months ago with the original release of the Mavic 3. A lot of people who had drones such as the Air 2S, even people who had the Mavic Pro 2, that price bump to over $2,000 just left a lot of them behind. And today we still have, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good value, but it's a lot of people that want a drone beyond the Mini 3 Pro, but they're not looking to spend $21.99.
Yeah.
So they've kind of left kind of a gap there. I know the Classic, you can get the Classic just by itself and it's like $1,500, but there's still a gap out there that even Altel's kind of left it go now, that they've sort of taken the Lite Plus out of that category.
Yeah. So,
well, Bill, you know what, Bill mentioned that earlier, Ron, and both of you guys are spot on. It is, you guys have both made me realize that they are probably leaving a little gap there.
Yeah. Again, it's some people want a pretty good camera drone. They want some good features. They want more than a Mini, but they don't want enough to pay $2,200 for it.
Or right now, $1,700 for a Mavic 3 Classic, which pretty, $700 is a lot of money right there. And if DJI can come out with like an Air 3, and maybe $1,100, $1,200 for the basic package or something like that, that's going to do real well. I mean, I look and of course, and I talked a little bit about this last night on Drone Nation, was DJI never publishes its sales figures, but one of the things that I use is a benchmark, and it's not scientific at all, but I look at the membership and groups, and the two top groups that I have are the Air group and also the Mini group. Okay.
Yeah.
And the Air group is they're almost neck and neck how close they are. I mean, in terms of, and what really surprises me is these people that love the Air, they hold on to these drones. They don't sell them. I mean, it's the drone that I regret selling was the Air 2S.
I mean, Bill, I see your point. And today, a lot of Air 2 and Air 2S owners kept their credit cards in their pocket today. So again, money left on the table because
Well, Michael says we're wrong, Ron. He says there's going to be one announced this year.
I hope he's right.
Announced this year. Mike, you should have. I'm mad you didn't show it to us in Florida.
Yeah. Hey, so to your point, Bill, one of the things I'll bet you, if I look back at my flight logs, I probably have flown the Air 2S more than almost any other drone in the last year and a half. I fly it a lot. I mean, it's just because it's all around so easy to carry and has all those features. Barkley pointed out earlier to me when I was talking about it, he goes, yeah, it doesn't have the color science that the Mavic 3 does. Totally agree. Mavic 3 is by far and away the best drone I've ever owned. Yeah.
He's right. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Today, guys, what did you see the notes? I haven't dug into what this really means because the Mavic 3 already had D-Log, but what did that big note today about adding D-Log M mean?
Okay. Ken did a demo of that in his video today, Ron, and showed it was like with and without that. And it really, and he said it's really easy to use. He says, but he did say that you could lose some of some of the color saturation. I mean, I am no means.
So it's an easier log format to color grade then.
Yeah, from my understanding, that's what I caught from him, because I know,
and that makes sense, because when you went from the Mavic 2 Pro to the Mavic 3, I mean, the color graded D-Log was a whole different ball game. It was much more difficult in the Mavic 3 than it was on the Mavic 2 Pro, like Lauren's putting out here. So that M is a much easier log format to edit in.
To edit. Hey, Ray Kelly pointed out that he thinks he's going to have iJustine at the Florida Drone Meetup next year, and he liked with Johnny Dronefire, and he said it had a ring to it, Johnny and Justine. So hey, that's a great deal, Ray. So yeah, everybody needs to come to.
Boy, you better book your rooms now, folks.
Yeah,
I know.
Will iJustine be at the Hampton with
Oh yeah, did you see? Yeah, I'm going to put out a plug for the 2024 South Florida Drone Meet. Ray's already got the Hampton in already with a special discount code. He put it out there. So if you guys want to make your reservations, go for it and do it, because it'll go quick. I am crossing my fingers that I don't have a major project come around next April next time. Oh, I'm still kind of, hot under the collar about that, but work is work. So, but yeah,
I want to backtrack just for a second to that D-Log. So the D-Log M replace the D-Log it had before, or is this another option?
I think it replaced it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's only one. It's only D-Log M or
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good.
So
good.
You're talking to a JPEG guy right here.
H.264 standard video guy.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's kind of good news that D-Log M's back. I mean, for most people. I mean, if you if you really want to get your hands dirty with some video editing, then maybe it's not. It's just good news.
Yeah, that would fit in pretty well. Well, for me, I never, I'm like Marcus. I'm a JPEG guy. I'm like, I just don't, I'll go around, I'll change the brightness or the saturation just a little bit in DaVinci, but, I'm not going to go there and, mess around with stuff, because, every time I tried that, it just, I would do one, it would look great, but then the other part wouldn't, it would mess up. And I'm like, no.
Oh yeah. I mean, many times when you're on log and you're editing, sometimes after about 5 minutes, it's much worse than look to begin with. So you just usually hit the reverse button and go back to what it was.
Oh yeah. To hit that reverse on there. Well, one of the things that really kind of, it really, I don't know. I had the feeling like this morning, okay, and we were getting real close to 9, and they still weren't out there yet. That I thought it was going to kind of be like the Inspire 3, where they were just going to say, click the link and put your email address in, and we'll let you know when it's ready, kind of a thing. I was really kind of thinking it was going to be like that, and then Marcus announces, "Yep, it's there," and I'm like, wow. I didn't.
You know why I didn't think that was going to be, Bill, because I knew there were a lot of reviewers had them for a while. So that really kind of gives you, if a lot of people have the drone, a couple of months in advance, that kind of tells you that it's not all that scarce, And then, who did you finally wind up ordering the drone from today? The Mavic?
I did from DJI directly.
From the ship. Okay.
Yeah. Now, what was real interesting, and I, I kind of at the beginning, I was sharing this with everybody and with Marcus, was I ordered the Mavic 3 Classic by accident. Okay, so I canceled that order, but what happened was part of my deposit, okay, part of the $589, okay, is being held hostage for 3 to 5 days till it gets refunded back to me. Yeah. So it costs, it's like they're making money on it for 3 to 5 days.
Oh yeah.
But Valerie's like, oh, it was so funny. Valerie had a dentist appointment this morning. She was walking by. Are you done yet? And I'm like, no. It's like, so I hit the picture and I went over and I told her, I said, I ordered the wrong drone. And she's like, oh no, I'm like, but yeah, I got that corrected. But you know what's really going to stink is by the time I get the drone, I'll have about 1 week before we head up to Ohio for our vacation. So yeah, and I'm not going to take, that's one of the things I'm going to cherish this drone, but that's not going to be a drone that's going to travel with me up to Ohio. I'll probably take the Mini 3 Pro with me.
Mini with it, yep.
Yeah, I don't, but what's really, what's really good, because a lot of people were asking about cases and stuff today. The case that I got, it's called a Lycus, Lykus.
Mike Wright had that case in Florida.
He did. It cost me $65, guys, and it's every bit as good as one of those $125, $150 cases. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Let me slow you down a second. So, if you get the Mini 3 Pro, because that camera, it won't fit in the Mavic 3 cases. Is that what we're saying?
The Mavic 3
Pro will not fit into a Mavic 3 case?
No.
Okay.
No.
Hey, everybody's gonna need a new case too, as well as.
Yeah, that's what I'm because of the camera.
I would think because of new ND filters and it's a lot of stuff you gotta buy
filters. Yeah, so I didn't think of that. So, I'm probably gonna end up selling it because of that. But if Lycus makes it, it's only $65. I mean, and that's what. In fact, I got the same case for my Mini 3. Is this Lycus, and it's perfect. It fits everything in there. It has plenty of slots for batteries. I can fit like in the Mavic 3 case. I can fit both both controllers in there. The RC Pro and the RC would fit in there. No questions asked. No problem. It's just it did a great job. So and that's one thing I thought about it and this afternoon, and it hit me, and I'm like, I probably should have just given it to the guy when I sold it, when I sold the Mavic 3 on eBay, but that would have been extra shipping because it would have had to go in another box. I mean,
exactly. Lots of times I don't do the cases because I know, driving the shipping price up higher is going to deter the sale.
Yeah.
You look at that. Richard says it could have been worse. You could have ordered an EXO by mistake.
Yeah, I saw that. That would not have been good. Well, cases are important, but I like it back. Okay, Ray, that's good. That's good. I mean, I'm just, for me, okay, even when I'm in the car, even just, I go less than a mile to where I go fly, it's sitting in that case because, it's just like, if I have to brake hard or something, I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to have to use DJI Care Refresh, before I even get the drone up in the air, I want to make sure.
Marcus, how much was Care Refresh, or Bill? How much was Care
$400? $399 for excuse me. I bought it for 2 years.
What would be 1 year?
Yeah, I can't remember the 1 year price. We'd have to.
I didn't get it because I'm using State Farm.
Right,
I just renewed that. Oh, and you know what I did? And this is just a complete side note on everything. These personal articles policy, that'll cover a lot of stuff. I have it covering all my PCs, okay, including my monitors, my desktop, my soon-to-be 2 laptops, and I got a 48-inch curved monitor that I'm getting set up by Best Buy in a couple of weeks. So yeah, and it's it's kind of paid off for itself. I'm really pleased that I'm able to do that, and it kind of gives me a little bit of a peace of mind.
I see John Coopy's making a comment about the goggles too, the Integra. Have we confirmed yet that only the Integra goggles and the motion controller 2 work with these camera drones, or is it open to other equipment also? Do we know?
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
No. Yeah, that's just one of those things for me. I'm really thinking we'll probably see an initial surge in sales, but then I think it's going to kind of level off a little bit until more people, say like for you, Ron, get to see Marcus, myself, others get out there with the drone, take a look at it, see the kind of video that we're able to shoot from it, and then make a buying decision on it.
Yeah. And about 6 months now, when you can buy just the drone by itself, that'll be a second
Yeah.
wave of orders for all the people that already have their controllers and they just want a drone.
I agree.
True enough.
And one of the things I want to caution people, and this is just from previous experience, because I know some people have gotten bit by it before, is, they'll be tempted, let's say, like in my case or in Marcus's case, to sell the DJI RC that comes with this, because what do we need it for? Okay. You know what I tell people? Time out. You can never have too much of it's like my dad used to say, you can never have too many friends. Well, in my instance here with drones, you can never have too many controllers that will work with the same drone, because what if for some reason your RC Pro dies on you? Okay. You still have a backup being able to fly that drone. And I think it was maybe a couple of years ago, Original Dobo, he said he sold one of his controllers and he kicked himself because he could have had that instead of having to order a new one.
Right.
So, and so that's why I tell people, if you're in an instance like Ron and Marcus, or like myself and Marcus, where you ordered the base kit with the RC, with the DJI RC, keep it. Okay. I'd use it every now and then as well too, just to make sure that it works, because eventually down the road, maybe 2-3 years down the road, you'll probably end up selling it, and you want to sell it with a controller as well too. It just makes sense not to sell that, because I know a lot of people, I'll go in and sell it and make some money. No, it'll come back and sting you.
Bill, kind of a little change of subject here. Okay, now with the Mini 3 Pro out the door and the Inspired 3s almost out the door here, what will be the next major drone release from DJI? Will there be another one this year?
Yeah, I think there will be, but I don't think we know what it is yet. I know, despite everything that we've heard, DJI cannot ignore that Air 3 segment of people, because there's just too many people out there that have that drone, that hold on to that drone, that love that drone, that are clamoring for an Air 3. So I really think we're going to see one. And I know what Lauren said, and I know what you've heard done at the meetup and everything. I just really think DJI is going to hear what the consumers are saying, and they're speaking pretty loud, okay? And they're pretty vocal about it. I mean, that Air 2S group that I have, people really love their drones. So I really think we're going to see an Air 3. But like I thought originally it was going to be in the spring, I don't see that till fall or maybe November.
And there's scuttlebutt out there that it won't be a Mini 4 this year.
Yeah, I don't think there will be. I think we'll see an Air 3.
And I think I think that would be their wisest decision as far as getting some quick sales.
Because that Mini 3 Pro, I tell you what, as far as a mini drone is concerned, how I'm going to ask a rhetorical question, but how can you get better than that drone for a mini drone? I mean, seriously, with the obstacle avoidance on it, with that kind of camera on it, with being able to handle fairly substantial winds with that, I mean, that is an incredible drone. That is just
right. And people are going to say 1-inch sensor, whatever, but how are they going to shave the weight of the rest of the drone to get the 1-inch sensor on there for waveform? And also from an energy factor, that 1-inch sensor could cut into the battery performance. So, watch what you wish for in certain situations.
Yeah.
I just you highlighted Richard's comment about the Mavic 3 having a shorter lifetime. I mean, it's been around for a year and a half, better than a year and a half. So I think it's
pretty average. I mean,
Richard compared it to the Evo, the V1, which is older than any of these drones.
Yeah, and that's kind of apples and oranges, but yeah.
Yeah, well, put Richard right. Give Richard right away. Well, the Mavic 3 has a 4/3 sensor, which is probably using more battery power than the 1-inch sensor on the Autel Evos.
Right.
Yeah, JSK Enterprise. Yes, what they did was it does have an end of life right now.
They took it down. It's not on the. It's not
for sale.
one DJI.
Hey, Bill, so define end of life for me. So when I think of end of life, that means to me that they're not even supporting the product anymore. But that's not the case here. They're not selling it, but they're still supporting it.
Right. And I think end of life's a bad terminology for that. I think you probably want to say end of sales.
Or how about end of production? Maybe.
Or end of production. Those are two much better terms for that. Yeah. Because they're going to stick by. I mean, they announced that they're just going to discontinue. It's just going to be this year for some Phantom 3 support that they're going to discontinue. And look how long. I mean, we're talking, years.
A dinosaur drone.
A long time since the Phantom 3's
prehistoric era.
Prehistoric, right?
Yeah, right. It's legendary. So yeah, it is an end of life. It's end of production for the Mavic 3. Okay, but.
And remember, it's really only the end of production for the Mavic 3 camera array, but the rest of the drones the same.
The rest of the drones are safe. Yeah, the Classic and the Pro.
It's almost like the Mini 2 SE scenario. They didn't create a new drone. That's just the Mini 2 with a firmware downgrade.
Right.
And again, the Mavic 3 Pro is just the Mavic 3 with a new gimbal and camera on the front. So they're still going to be producing. Not 90% of the drones still going to be in production. So
I see Tar Heel Aerials. He says, hello, do you see me in the chat? I sure did. Bill highlighted that. So
North Carolina Tar Heel, huh?
Evidently. I didn't know that, Ron.
I think, is that where the Tar Heels are, Bill? Or is that, what state are the Tar Heels?
That's North Carolina.
Okay. I was right. Okay. I didn't want to get anything wrong there.
We're hitting North Carolina. Well, see if you guys can come up with some closing thoughts here. I mean, it's been a pretty whirlwind 24 hours here.
Bill, it's almost like Christmas today. We got a new Mavic. We've been talking about this for years. Every time a new DJI drone comes out, it's going to work with the goggles. It's going to work with the goggles. And every time we've been disappointed. But today, boom,
it works with the goggles. Good point, Rod.
On their most recent drones, and you can't expect it to work with the ancient drone. They're kind of two most recent drones. And did you see? They did. That's why the Mini 3 Pro is a Pro, because it didn't support the regular Mini 3. Mm-hmm. It only supported the Pro version of it.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of reasons that Mini 3 Pro is a Pro, but yeah. So just it's been kind of a whirlwind. I mean, stuff keeps showing up at my door. I told Ron about this. This company, Hohem, sent me their new gimbal.
It's a gimbal company.
I'm looking forward to trying that out. I talked about this the other day, the SJ Cam, kind of an interesting camera. So looking forward to trying both of those out. And I'm going to fly this guy tomorrow. So looking forward to seeing how well the camera does on it. And so they ship on May 9th. Bill, I might get that Mavic 3 by my birthday in mid-May. So it'd be a good birthday present.
Sounds good. Ron, any thoughts? Closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just what I said before, that it was kind of a big day because of not only the new drone, but the firmware updates, the compatibility with the goggles, motion controller on the other flagship drones. So it really, we haven't had a day like this in a while, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a while.
True enough.
It really has been a while. And first of all, for me, I want to thank Ron, Marcus, and DeMarco for having me on last night and this morning being on for the release, and then tonight. I mean, it's been a whirlwind kind of 24 hours, and it's been good. It's always good, even when the Inspire 3 comes out, because a lot of people saying, why are you talking about a drone that 99% of us can't afford? Well, I'm talking about it because, again, and I'll say this, what I told the guys when we had the show was that technology will make its way down to consumer drones. And I think it's really good to have an understanding of what that technology is now. So when you get it, you'll say, aha, I remember that was on the Inspire 3. Okay. So that's why we're doing it. Go ahead, Marcus.
One more thought, Bill. I guess what I have to say is, Bill, can you believe that our friend Ron Brown is going to fly an Avata? He's got an Avata drone.
That is just
with goggles.
I'm still stunned. It made his first flight in the backyard for a few minutes today. But back to what Bill was saying a while ago. about the Aspire 3, and even up, we're talking about the Mini 3 Pro here. Most of our audience is flying. We just said earlier they're flying Air 2Ss, Mini 3 Pros, still a lot of Mini 2. So most of the people watching our show aren't even going to get a Mavic 3 Pro either. So we're still talking about a drone. The core of our community is made up of Mini 2, Mini 3, Mini 3 Pro, Air 2S.
I'll go you one better, Ron. We're going to have to change the name of the show to Avata Nation.
Because a lot of Avatas were on hand at the meetup. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. A lot of people that you and I both know bought Avatas today. Besides you,
there's a famous, a famous YouTuber who called me up this afternoon, and his Avata's coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't mention any names.
A couple of them.
But this man's in a warm weather state, and it's not Florida.
Yeah, southern state. Yeah.
Southern. Yeah. Well, that's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for stopping by tonight. It's always good. Release days are always good. It's always a lot of fun. And, it's kind of like Christmas in, I won't say July, it's April. In fact, it's 8 months from today is Christmas, believe it or not. Today's the 25th. But, last night was fun. This morning was fun. Right now, it's a good time. And it's always good to talk about new technology and to be able to share it with everybody. And our thoughts and our analysis and everything. So make sure if you get a chance, watch last night's video, watch this morning's video. They were great. We had a great time. It was really good, and obviously this one as well. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in as always. And don't forget, next week we're going to have Billy Kyle on, and these guys are going to be back with me, so we'll have a great Q&A with Billy. Take care. Have a great evening. It's a great day to fly.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.